Hey everybody, another car chat. Today I want to talk about my Shopify store. I'll be sitting in the traffic, so I thought this was the perfect time. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey everybody, what's up? Today is Friday, April 4th, 2025. I'm leaving work. I got done at the office. Now I'm going to go to the bank because I haven't put my check in from March 31st. Yeah, my bank is on the other side of town, so sometimes I don't get my check put in time. Alright, today I want to talk about my Shopify store because last week my live stream didn't work and so I didn't get to talk about it. So if you're just joining this channel, thank you for coming by, and don't forget to hit the like button. So my name is Beth and I sell on Poshmark and eBay currently. I have sold on Mercari, Etsy, and Amazon in the past. And my situation is that I have a job. I'm also a caregiver, and I have my eBay and Poshmark stores and a lot of other responsibilities going on. When I return a couple of years, I will probably have some more platforms. But about 3 years ago, I decided to save up some money and start a Shopify store. And so I've got the money now to invest. And what I want to happen is I want to get this Shopify store going right now and get it functioning, get all the kinks worked out. And then in 2 years when I retire, I want the store to be really going. And sorry if you can't see me very well. I want the store to be going and functioning and maybe making some money. So today I'm going to talk to you about what I've done, where I'm at, and what I need to do. The way I look at a Shopify store is it is a 2-lane, one-way street. On the left lane, you have the actual Shopify store. And on the right lane, you have everything else. And as long as I keep 2 passenger side wheels in one lane and 2 driver's side wheels in one lane and keep the car going straight, I'm okay. But once I veer over, sorry, nobody would let me over. Once I get those 2 wheels ahead in one lane, my car's going to go sideways and skid. So what that means is I have to put equal time, equal money, equal everything into both lanes. So let's talk about first the left-hand lane, Shopify. What have I done so far? So far, I've purchased a Shopify subscription. I have purchased, 3 domain names. One of them was actually free. It came with the first one. And what I need to do is get those migrated over and connected to the actual Shopify store. It's pretty easy. I've watched videos on it. I just need to do it. I've also created a banner. And I've also created collections, which in Shopify is basically just categories. So I have a category of dresses, and it has a really nice thumbnail of dresses on a clothing rack. And then I've got swimwear and jeans. Can't remember. I have 6 of them. So that if the client clicks on that category, they can see all the dresses or all the jeans or, So done that. And that's really about all. And I've migrated 550 items, I believe, from eBay over to Shopify. So I have a lot to go. I have 2,500, I believe, total that need to go over there. Now, I was originally going to launch the website when I had 1,000 pieces of clothing up, because I wanted to have a good variety. I didn't want somebody coming there looking for size 1X swimsuits and only see 2. So I thought, well, I'm just going to wait till I have about 1,000 pieces up, and then I'll launch it. But now I'm thinking, no, I'm going to go ahead and launch it now and just not advertise it. But I want Google to go ahead and start indexing some of these items, and you know what I mean? So getting ready to do what I call a soft launch. And says improve my phone performance, try turning off the camera. Don't know what that means. Anyway, so soft launch just means I'm gonna have it working. People can find me on the internet, but I'm not going to be sending out business cards. I'm not going to be doing any advertising for a while. And I figure I have about 100 more hours left in order to migrate the rest of my items over there. So that's a lot of time. So now you guys know why I haven't been on YouTube much. And that has been a real challenge for me, is figuring out when to do this and keep my eBay store running and keep my Poshmark Closet going and working and caregiving. My sales, surprisingly, have been pretty good, pretty steady, and even on Poshmark I've been getting a lot of sales. And I'm kind of attributing that to migrating things over. While I'm migrating them to Shopify, I am ending them on Poshmark and relisting them, and I think maybe that's helping me, but I'm not sure. Alright, so I'm going to go into the bank and do my business, and then I'll be back and talk to you a little bit more. Okay, I'm back. Did the bank thing. Boy, it's windy out there. And I have an eBay customer who keeps messaging me, and I have a feeling it's going to be a problem. She wanted to know if I could split the shipping. It's like a shirt that she paid like, I don't know, $15 on. She wants me to pay for half the shipping, and her pay for half the shipping, she's already paid for it. I'm like, no. I said, we combine shipping if you buy more than one thing. And she's like, so then she messaged me, well, how does that work? I said, well, if you pay for them separately, I'm going to have to refund you. You know, you've already paid for this. Then she wanted to know if I had tunics in her size, this color, this kind. And I'm like, I'm sure we do. I said, we have over 4,000 items in our store. Please just search our store. Like, I'm at work. And now I'm in the car, and I'm still getting messages from her. You know, it's those small, cheap items that typically are the problems, are the returns, are the negative feedback. Somebody that wants to be spoon-fed information. So, I'm a little bit peeved. Okay, so I don't even remember what I was talking about. She's got me so frazzled. But anyway, so we talked about, you know, I bought the banner, I bought the thing, I bought that. Okay, I did that. All right. I did set up my shipping, but then I erased it. So, I still have to set up my shipping prices. I have to set up my taxes. I have to set up pages, like a privacy page and a return policy, and I want to do like a page that's like about my store, like why my store is called the name that it's called, because I know some of my subscribers have asked me that in the past. Why is that the name of your store? It's so random. There's a reason for that. Why they should buy from me, you know, what I offer, and there's a couple of other things that I need to do, set up. There's taxes is the main one. How I'm going to be paid, how they're going to be, how they can pay, and I got to do all that before I can even soft launch. So, still got quite a bit to do. And when am I going to find the time, guys? Do y'all have problems with time? Because I was already so busy, and now I'm just like, where am I going to find the time to do all this shit? You know, I'm sorry I'm calling it shit, but But I was so stressed out last week one day that I felt like I was having a stroke. I could feel my blood pressure going up. I don't know if I told y'all that in one of my car chats. Maybe I told you in my live stream when my sound wasn't working and you couldn't hear a thing I was saying. Finally, I had to just cut the live stream. I think I fixed my microphone, though. Maybe I'll go live Sunday night if I make any fun sales. We'll see. Okay, so anyway, when am I going to find the time to do this? I don't know. I'm probably going to think of some other things I need to do to my Shopify store, but let's go ahead and go to the next lane of traffic. Other things, like I need to order hang tags. Alright, I found some hang tags on Up Printing. It's a letter U, printing.com. If any of you have ever bought from them, please message me below and tell me what your experiences was. I looked on Vistaprint and it was going to be like $100. Not $100, I'm sorry, $29 or something like that for 100 hang tags. Okay, like I list like 300 to 400 items a month. There is no freaking way I'm paying that kind of money. But this Up Printing, I can get 1,000 for $19.99 if they don't put holes in them. Which, with my tagging gun, I should be able to put a hole. I'm hoping. We'll see. So I designed a little hang tag. It's just got a 10 of Hearts card, and then it says 10ofheartsstore.com. That's what my default store name's going to be. I guess I just gave that away. But I haven't pulled the trigger and bought those yet because I haven't migrated that domain name to my Shopify. Once that I know is connected, then I can order those. Also need to order new business cards. I've designed them, but again, until I know that that domain name is attached to my Shopify store and that it is the default domain name, I'm not going to purchase the business cards. Now, I get my business cards from Vistaprint, and a friend and I were talking about this the other day. Vistaprint is really expensive now. Like, it used to be dirt cheap to get business cards from them. Holy cow, they're so expensive. And if you want to put glossy or you want to put something on the back, that adds to the expense. But I always listen to what Josh Galt says. He says, Vistaprint is expensive, but they've never failed me. Their order has always been correct. The things come fast and the quality is great. And so I think I'm just going to keep paying the money right now and using Vistaprint because I know that the quality will be good and they'll come fast. And until I try something else, let's stick with Vistaprint for that. Okay? But holy cow, $29 for 100 hang tags. Can you believe that? So, and I need to switch my TikTok account to my store name, and I need to make an Instagram channel with my store name, and, hey, I got some work to do on that. But the main work is migrating the items. So let me tell you what I've chosen to do. I'm hoping some of you will one day want a Shopify store and you will look at this video and go, I'm not going to make the same freaking mistakes that Beth made. Keep this somewhere saved if you ever think you might ever want to open a Shopify store. So I've chosen List Perfectly. And yeah, List Perfectly is probably a little bit more expensive than some of the other cross-posting programs. But I picked it because some of my friends use it. So I know that if I get stuck and don't know what to do and I need help right away, I can get help right away. And also I think it's the majority of the people probably use List Perfectly. I mean, it's got a great community, and actually there's lots of things about List Perfect I want to tell you guys about. One thing is, if I pay $20 more a month, I can use their cross-listing to Poshmark part of their app. Right now, I'm paying $29.99 a month for Sidekick Tools. And the only reason I'm going with them is they do silent auctions for me, and I don't have to be present. And I'm not sure if the silent, I can't remember the last time I sold anything on a silent auction, but I was thinking they were going to my store and looking around after the silent auction, but I can't really prove that. And because my sales have picked up so much in the last week on Poshmark by me deleting the Poshmark listing and cross-posting it from List Perfectly and making a new listing, I think that's what's doing it. So I could save myself $10 by not paying $30 a month and pay $10 to List Perfectly just to share my closet. That's what I'm thinking about doing. But not right now. I don't have everything listed. Alright, so the process was I had to import all my items I wanted in my Shopify store into List Perfectly. And that was like about 2,200 items, I believe. I'm only putting my plus size clothing right now in my Shopify store. I want to be known as a plus size clothing store. I'm not putting men's right now, and I really seriously doubt that I will. I may put my jewelry. I sold a pair of earrings the other day, my first pair that I made or put together, just to have something extra for people to buy. But right now, not really, just clothing. So it's about 2,200 pieces. That took 10 hours. Okay, that was no fun. And so I found out that, like, I was starting out migrating 10 at a time. And it would get to like number 8 and it would go, and it would stop. And then I have to go back, figure out which one of the 10 didn't import, do those 2, and then do another 10. And I tried 25. It'd get to like 20, 21. And I have to figure out which 4 or 5 didn't import. So then I thought, you know what? I was going to do 100 freaking ones at a time because it's going to stall somewhere. So I started doing 100 at a time. And that took about 30 minutes. And then, of course, when I checked it, it was like maybe 10 or 12 didn't migrate. And then I just went and migrated those over. I say migrate, it's import to List Perfectly. So List Perfectly needs to fix that. That was frustrating. Trying to figure out which ones did not go over there. But it took about 10 hours. Okay. But I'm listing new things on eBay and Poshmark right now. So I've probably listed 300 since I started. In the last few weeks, I've listed about 300 items. Yeah. So now I've got about 2,500. Okay. Now what I have to do is, how do you say this? Copy the items from List Perfectly to Poshmark and to Shopify. Well, the problem is some of them are already on Poshmark. And if I copy them to Poshmark, again, I'm going to have 2 of the same listing. And when one sells, I'm not going to know that I have a duplicate. So what I have to do is I have to go to Poshmark, find the item, delete it, and then copy it to Poshmark and Shopify. All right? On Poshmark, when it copies into Poshmark, it does not put the categories. So I have to put women's, tops, new with tags or not, and then I have to check the price, because if the price was on sale on eBay when it migrated over, it's showing my sales price. It's showing them what it's on sale for. So it could be on sale for $14, but originally it was $20, and I keep it like that on Poshmark. I keep it at the original $20. So I have to check that. But I'm getting faster. I also have to delete the blurb that says, click here to see more items in our store, because that's a hyperlink that's in my eBay listing, and I don't want that on my Poshmark and Shopify listings, so I have to take that out. Alright, then, oh man, I wasn't paying attention and I'm in the wrong freaking lane. Shoot. Nobody's gonna let me over, I bet. I guess I'm gonna have to turn. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to turn. That's my fault. Okay. Got that. Alright, now, when I put it on Shopify, I have to take out the part, the hyperlink. I have to make sure all the spacing is right, because sometimes it runs sentences together. I have to put spaces. I have to put the price in 2 places. I have to put the weight, okay? So if it's a top, I put 0.15, 15 ounces. But how do I know if it might be over? It might be over a pound. Okay, it might be a heavy shirt. Well, in that case, I got to go over to eBay, search for it, and see, is it a $8.99 shipping or a $6.99 shipping? That will tell me about how much it weighs. That's a drag. Okay, so now anything new that I'm listing or inventorying, if it's over a pound, I'm putting 2 pounds in the SKU so that I can see that. I don't have to go back and look. I'm just telling you guys some of the things that to think about when you're listing on Shopify. Then it'll do things like, it'll say geometric, but it won't say the color. So then you have to choose the color. It'll say nothing on the size. And when you type in 1X, there'll be 2 1Xs and you have to pick one. Sometimes it'll say one size fits all. And when it's a 1X, where did they get that from? So I got to X that out. Sometimes it'll say 2XL when it's just a 2X. Or it'll say 2X when it's a 2XL, so you got to X that out. I mean, this is not easy. I mean, it's not hard. It's just a lot of work. So then, and then sometimes it'll say the length of the top is long or medium. Well, where does it get that from? Well, if it's a tunic, I can leave it long. But if it's not a tunic, I don't want it to say long, and I don't want it to say medium. I don't want it to say anything, so I have to check that off. And then I got to scroll all the way back to the top to make sure I did everything correctly. I'm going to try to go around. I don't know. And so I got to check all that off. And then I check it as I scroll back up. And then I put it in the category, the collection. And then I hit save. This is a lot of freaking work, guys. But I've gotten faster at it. Made a lot of mistakes. The first few nights, and I do all of this from my bed at night. I go to bed super early and I just lay there and do it. And one couple of nights I forgot what I was doing, and I was just like cross-posting them all over there, and I wasn't deleting them on Poshmark first. Okay, so that I'm doing better. Also, where do I find time to do this? Well, I've set aside from 3 to 5 o'clock every day to go sit in the living room with my wife while she's working on her job, and I do it then for 2 hours, and then again I do it at night. So I do total about 4 hours a day, give or take. I'm interrupted a lot, but that's about how I'm done. So that's how I've gotten 550 up, what did I say, in about, I don't know, 5 or 6 days maybe. So I don't think that's bad. I'm pretty proud of myself. I mean, I can do this. I know I can do anything. I can do anything. I just had to put my mind to it. All right, now somewhere else I was going with that. Okay, now the problem, here's the problem. So I thought, well, when I first started this, I thought, once I get everything moved over to Shopify, I'm just going to get rid of List Perfectly. I don't need it. I can list things on Shopify myself, like I do now on Poshmark, and when things sell, just go take them off, like I do now. It's only 3 platforms. But then I got to thinking, I thought, well, this also lists to Mercari. Super easy. I have a Mercari account. I closed my Etsy, but I could open my Etsy. I could open another Etsy account, sell some of my vintage clothing over there. So I think I might keep it, and there's a possibility when all this is said and done, I may add some stuff to Mercari and Etsy. But from what everybody's telling me, let me know below, how's Mercari going for you guys? Because from what I'm hearing, Mercari is sucking right now. And it always has sucked for me. But I'm like, if I've got List Perfectly and it'll move it over there, why the heck not? Why the heck not? So, yeah, I don't know. Here's the big question. Here's the big problem with keeping List Perfectly. The way I do inventory. For those of you who have not watched me before, what I do is I have my inventory divided up in sections according to pattern or color. or leg style when it comes to jeans and pants. So I have a straight leg section, a boot cut section, a skinny section, and a capri section. I have a floral section, a geometric section, a stripe section. You get the picture. Well, when I'm ready to inventory that section, I take that entire section down. So I go to eBay, I pull up that category of stripes, I end them all, and then I go through them box by box and make sure that I have the item, that it's listed, or if it's listed and I don't have it, and right now, if it's a smaller size, extra small to large, I'm donating it. And when I put it back up, typically those things start selling within 1 or 2 weeks. So, how am I going to do that with List Perfectly? How in the world? If I end them all on eBay, they're not ended on List Perfectly. So if I put them back up on List Perfectly, I'm going to have 2 List Perfectly listings, and I'm not going to know which one is which, and I don't want to accidentally cross-post them to Poshmark and Shopify again. I could take the item number, and plug it in to the original List Perfectly listing, which that's kind of a pain in the butt. Someone told me, and there was a video I watched that said that you could, that's my boss telling me to have a good weekend. He gave me 2 bottles of wine today to try, so I had to do a taste test tonight. I watched videos on this. They said, all you have to do is, you don't have to delete the Poshmark listing. All you have to do is find the item number at the top and plug it into List Perfectly. Well, that doesn't work anymore. Unfortunately, the number at the top is like 25 digits, where it used to be about 10 digits. And I've tried putting them in there and it won't take it. So Poshmark has changed the way they do their item numbers. So what I'm trying to do is to keep myself from having to end all the items, inventory them, put them back up, and then copying them to Shopify and Poshmark. It's a lot of extra work. But the thing is that the sales happen when I get new listings. So I may be willing to do that. Just take them all down off of eBay and Poshmark and Shopify and put them back up. That's a lot of work. That's what I'm doing now, essentially, with everything. I hope this has been a lot clearer than mud to you guys. If y'all use List Perfectly, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's going to be a problem. I'm trying to figure out right now, is it more of a problem to do it the way, just to get rid of List Perfectly in the end and just do things the way I was doing them, but adding Shopify? But when I see the amount of Poshmark sales that I've gotten this past week after relisting these items, I don't know. I had one shop was delisting items after 60 days and putting them back up, and I had Sidekick doing that too, and I was ending up with duplicate listings on Poshmark, and I cannot risk that anymore happening. I mean, I'm still finding some of those that are duplicated, and I was selling things that I didn't have on Poshmark. Also, something I found out that I didn't know about Poshmark was when somebody made a bundle sale on 2 items and then they wanted to cancel the sale. When you cancel the sale, it shows sold on Poshmark. It does not put the item back up for sale. That's a problem. That is a problem. Poshmark, y'all need to do something about that, because when on eBay, if somebody cancels a sale, it gives you the option to relist or not. And I never have seen that on Poshmark. And so it shows it's sold. And then when I see that item in List Perfectly that's coming from eBay, I'm like, wait, it already sold. I don't have this item. And then when I look it back up on, they canceled. So then I got to put a note and list perfectly. This Poshmark sale canceled. This item is still for sale. And make a new listing. Like, that's kind of silly, Poshmark. Like, what if somebody, and this happens on eBay all the time, what if somebody accidentally made you an offer that they didn't mean to make you, but they still want the item? So they want to cancel the sale, and then they want to repurchase it at a different offer. They can't, because the item shows sold. It's no longer listed. That's a problem. So much to think about. But I'm really getting pumped. I'm thinking that, now this is a lot of my, this is not a self-esteem issue that I suffer with. Man, this is going to take me forever to get home going this way. But I get to talk to you. My thought is, about my therapist I used to have would be beating me over the head right now if I said this to her. My thought about this is this going to be another thing that I'm going to fail at? Okay? Have you ever said that to yourself? Is this going to be another failure? I have tried lots of different YouTube channels that I consider failures. They were so bad I don't even want to talk about them. But my podcast, my OCD podcast, at first I felt like a failure, but I know that I'm not a failure at that, because I ran out of people to interview, and I didn't want to talk by myself anymore, and it was getting harder and harder to find people to share their OCD story. The link to my OCD podcast is below. I did it for a year and a half. I loved it. I love talking to people, and I love sharing my OCD journey with everybody. And at first I felt like a failure, but I'm like, no, I'm not a failure. Like, I just have a lot going on in my life, and I can't devote any more time to looking for people. And I've pretty much said everything I want to say about my journey. I mean, nothing new is going on in my journey. So, I've had businesses in the past that I haven't even shared with you guys. I've started businesses that have totally flopped. And, you know, now I feel like my bookstore that I had for 9 years, I don't feel like I was a failure at that. I was good at that. In fact, the community pretty much revolted when they found out the community was really upset when we decided to close our doors. But I couldn't go on much longer doing that. We just couldn't do it. But I don't really feel like it was a failure. I mean, I feel like I made a lot of mistakes, but so I just keep thinking to myself, am I doing I still got 100 more hours. Am I going to work for 100 more hours only for this to fail? But you know what? You can't think that way, because if you go into something thinking you might fail, you probably will fail. And, I don't want to wake up one day and think, 5 years from now, and think, man, why didn't I open a daggum Shopify store? Or why did I not start cross-listing to Etsy earlier? Or, why did I not start selling at flea markets earlier? Like, I'm not going to sell at flea markets, but I'm just saying things that you have to try them. Because I got to give this thing 2 years. This thing, I am not expecting this to take off as soon as I launch it, okay? Trust me. When I get my first sale, and none of you better go over and buy from me, because I don't want my first sale to be a subscriber. I want my first sale to be organic, okay? I appreciate it, but when I get my first sale, it's just like when we made our first sale in the bookstore, we kept the $1, how you did. We had it framed and everything. We were so excited. I think our first sale was like $10, and we were just like hooping and hollering. I'm excited for my first sale, organic sale, and that's kind of how I felt about my podcast. I didn't have a lot of listeners, but again, there's so many podcasts out there, and it's so hard to market it without paying a fortune. But I've gotten some really cool feedback from people who it has helped. And that was the whole point, was to make people feel less alone who had OCD. And I accomplished that. And there are still people listening today to stuff that I recorded a year and a half ago. And, I feel like I did my job. The thing about Shopify is I got to pay for it, So in 2 years, if I'm not making enough to pay for the site and for List Perfectly, then I'll have to close it probably, or I'll have to come up with some other way. Am I scared? Not really, because I've saved the money. The money is there to invest in this part of my business. I'm not worried about the money. I'm worried about glitches. Like the other day, I tried to cross-post to Shopify, and Shopify was down. And I'm like, how could Shopify be down? Like, it's hosting my website. Like, does Shopify really go down? Yes, it does. Now, it only went down for a few minutes, but I was petrified. I was like, okay, so I can't cross-post right now. So I might as well do something else. So I got up, I went and got my inventory sheets, and I started drafting. Like, I got to do something with my time that's productive. And sure enough, about 10 minutes later, when I went over there, Shopify was back up again. So I put my inventory sheets down and started cross-posting again. Okay, now here's the last thing I want to talk about, and that is time management. While I'm doing this 100 hours, my procedure is totally changing, okay? Like, I'm not doing what I used to do. I used to draft from bed every night. I can't do that. I'm doing Shopify and Poshmark. So that has been a problem for me. So I'm drafting during the day, and that's taking time out of when I could be listing or photographing, or, I still haven't done my end of the March checklist. I need to back up my hard drive and scan my receipts and record them, and I haven't done any of that. So for the next 100 hours or so of working, my procedure is like backwards. And it's a change. And that's why you haven't seen me live, and you probably won't see me live for a while, unless I do go Sunday night. But I don't know. When it comes time to go live, and I'm like, okay, I got all this stuff to cross post, I'm like, this is priority. Haven't talked to a soul face to face in weeks, and I'm lonely. And I appreciate the text messages and everything. Still not on Facebook. Got kicked off, you guys, and still haven't made the time to make a new Facebook. It's like it's not a priority right now. So, yeah, I took Facebook off my new business cards. I just took it completely off. So I was running out of business cards. So I only ordered 2 boxes this time. Because when I open the Shopify, I'm going to have a different business card going in the packages. So anyway, guys, that's what's going on with me. And I'm going to go home, walk my dog. Tomorrow I'm getting my roots done. And I've had 3 hours sleep. Not because of this, but because I just couldn't sleep last night. I've been doing a lot of napping during the day, and then at night I can't sleep. And I don't know, boy, I'm really tired today. But I'm working for my boss, so I can't really afford to take a nap. Actually, he's on the golf course, so he probably wouldn't know, but that's just me. I might lay down for an hour. But anyway, I hope y'all are doing great. I miss talking to you. Oh, and also, I did want to say, just throw this in there for y'all, that about the Homeka battery, that the guy, I don't know if y'all remember the story, but anyway, he wanted to send this battery back because he said it didn't work, and he wouldn't tell me the model number of his machine, and I feel like it's going to be a switcheroo and all that. And the problem is, when you answer his message, he doesn't answer you for 5 or 7 days. Well, about a week ago, he said, hey, I didn't get the return label on the return. I said, well, I sent it. He's like, well, I don't see it. I said, well, you got to check your emails, you got to check your messages. No, I don't see it. Then I didn't hear from him for another week. Then he opened up a case against me on eBay, and the return went away, but there was a case open against me. And then he writes me and he goes, I called eBay and they told me for you to send me a new return label at no cost to you. And I'm like, how the heck can I do that? I have to go to Pirate Ship to do that. I got to pay for that label. So I had eBay call me, and the lady said, oh, I'm so sorry. She said, the eBay rep that talked to him, she didn't do the right thing. We have the label. We can resend it. That was her fault. I said, okay, thank you. So I messaged him back, and I said, eBay's going to send you the original return label. Again, please check your spam, your emails, your messages. Still haven't heard from him, right? Well, next day I get up, the return case is still open, or the case against me is still open, and it says you need to resolve this in 3 days. And I'm like, well, how do I resolve it? I haven't done anything wrong. So I had eBay call me again, and I told the lady, I said, I haven't done anything wrong. I said, you're holding my funds for you're holding me almost $70, and I haven't done anything wrong. And how am I supposed to resolve this in 3 days? And she said, you know what? She goes, this sounds really fishy. She says, I'm just going to close the whole case. So she closed it. So now I have no case against me. I have no return. So I don't know how long I'm going to go before I feel like they're not going to return it. And I took the machine, the unit down, because when I get the battery back, I want to put it in my machine to see if they switch batteries on me or not. And so I can't sell the main unit. I've been selling pieces from that machine. Good money. God, those vacuum cleaners are good money, guys. But they're a pain in the ass. I bought an invisible security pin that you have to have a black light flashlight to see. I made an X on the batteries from now on, and on the big pieces that cost a lot. But the problem is, if they send it back, I have no proof that I put that on there. So that's not going to help me. So Kimmy and Goose told me to get tamper-proof stickers. So I ordered those. They came in the other day. They wanted 250 or 300 stickers. I don't need that many, so I ordered 60 for $7.99. It's going to take me forever to use those. But anyway, that way I can take a picture of the sticker, and then if they try to take the sticker off, it will, disintegrate. So don't get the invisible pin, guys. It was a great thought, but there's no way I can prove that I put the mark. If I take a picture of the mark, which was just an X, they can just make a mark on their switcheroo that's an X, and anyway, I really feel like this was a scam. I really do. So I mean, if it comes back, I guess I have the obligation of giving them their money back, but I am going to check it, and if it's not working, I'm not giving them their shipping back, or I may even take 50% off, because that means they switched it on me, and then report them. I don't know. Well, guys, you have a great weekend. I'm going to get this uploaded tonight, and hopefully I will see you soon. Don't forget, we're all in this business boat together, so paddle on, and may God keep you in his pocket. Love you. Bye.